And we will kick things off with Joe Masada with the Oklahoman.
Hey, Mark, with the trade processing today with Al and Teo, I was just wondering how soon they're going to be, if they were there today, or how soon they're going to be able to report to camp.
Yeah, didn't practice today. They're going through the protocols and guidelines per the NBA, and the trade was just announced today. So, once they clear all the protocols, then they'll join us, and that'll be in the next few days, we would imagine.
I know, obviously, two guys on opposite ends of the spectrum as far as experience and everything. But can you just, give us an outline of both Al and Teo and what you're expecting of them this year?
Yeah, Teo, for a younger player that's just been drafted, he has a good amount of experience. He's played at a high level in Europe, played with a really good club, and has a certain maturity about him because of it. You can tell he's a guy that's been around pros and been around a pro game. He's a mature person for his age and has a mature way of seeing the game. So we're excited to see what he looks like out here on the court. Al, speaks for himself. He's had an incredible career to this point. He's yet another guy that we're extremely fortunate that we're able to have a player of his caliber, a person of his caliber in our organization. It just, layers onto the legacy that exists here. All the great players that have come through here before Al and George Hill are two guys that I would say are in that category where, we're extremely fortunate that they're here and they're going to add tremendous value to the organization while they're here. So we're really looking forward to getting started with them.
Thanks, Coach. Next, we'll go to Brady Trantham with the franchise.
Hey, Coach. I can't remember if this was actually asked the other day, but whatever players were out last week due to COVID, have they returned? Are you guys back at relative full strength? And of course, not including what you just said about Al Horford and Teo.
Yeah, per the guidelines, we're just going to keep it pretty vague there. We're following all the protocols. As soon as the guys clear the protocols, then we're going to try to get them back on the court. The COVID announcement that we made a couple of days ago, the players that were not in practice were not limited to that. There were other reasons that players were missing practices. It's obviously, an interesting time with everybody coming back from their markets. And so, we're taking it case by case, whether it's a COVID protocol or whether it's, a return to play situation where a guy's coming off of an injury or something like that from the past. We're just going player by player, but that's the most that I can really comment on it.
Next, we have Nick Gallo with Thunder Broadcasting.
Hey, Mark. What have you thought of Admiral Schofield so far as a player and as a person?
Great person, first and foremost. There's a real integrity to him as a person. He's got, true character, true toughness. He's very, very, there's just an authenticity to him that, just shines every single time you interact with him. Strong person, so, he adds to your team in that way. And then as a player, he competes, he plays hard. He's kind of a positionless player. There's a physicality to him, but also an athleticism. And he adds that to, pretty high capacity for work and a pretty high motor on the court. So he's been impressive so far. He's a guy that came through, years ago in the draft process and impressed us then and continues to impress us now.
Next, we have Paris Lawson with OKCThunder.com.
Hey, Coach, I wanted to ask you about a couple of new additions to your coaching staff, particularly Cameron Woods, OKC Blue product, and kind of what he brings to the table in player development.
Yeah, Cam's good. He's going to be a really, really good coach. He already is to a large extent. Cam's a guy that, when he finished at Butler, he was a G League player for us. He played with the Blue for 2 years, and then decided to retire from basketball relatively early and worked full-time for a year, and then decided he wanted to get into coaching. He missed basketball, but he wanted to start his coaching career early. And I was still the blue coach. I actually tried to talk him out of it. I wanted him to play. He could probably still play. You know, I think he's like 27, but he's pretty focused and he's a planner. And I think as he mapped out his career and his life, he said, hey, you know, I'm going to jump into this and try to get this right. And he did a great job as an assistant with the Blue the last couple of years. And, you know, he had an opening here. And he seemed like a good fit. Having guys like him and Eric Maynor and Mike Wilkes, you know, in the past we've had Royal Ivy, guys that have not only played, but played here and that really appreciate and understand the organization. There's tremendous value in that. And Cam brings that to the table as well.
Thanks, Coach.
Yep.
We'll go back to Brady Trantham with the franchise.
Shelby, I'm sorry, I forgot to lower my hand.
Okay, any other questions for Coach? All right, thank you.
Thank you, guys.